Hearing that your industry is looking at updating its health and safety guidelines, including banning citizens that are above the age of 70 years old or have a chronic health condition. Can you confirm that?
So, yes, the industry met with the Vice President of the United States and a number of top administration officials on Saturday. Although the CDC director acknowledged the strong record of public health that we've had over the decades, the Vice President challenged us to elevate our public health approach to mitigating or avoiding COVID-19 risk. We had 72 hours in which to respond, which we were able to do yesterday in time. It was an amazing effort across industry leadership. We feel like we have been responsive on prevention, on detection, and on care for guests on cruise ships. And we believe that we've now elevated our ability to manage any situation that would arise and that people should feel comfortable to cruise with us. We are not at the moment going to give specifics. We think it's only fair to give the government a chance to respond to the details of our proposal. But there's no doubt that the Vice President put a lot of emphasis on exactly what you said. Either elderly travelers or travelers with serious chronic underlying health conditions are clearly the most vulnerable segment of the population, and we need to take that into account in our plan.
Banning citizens that are above the age of 70 certainly necessary, but that's certainly going to take aim at a cruise industry that really does appeal to a wide-ranging population. But we have to say a lot of elderly citizens, love to cruise. Are you prepared? Is the industry prepared for the financial damage that could come? Yesterday, President Trump saying we will throw a lifeline out to the cruise industry. Is a bailout in the cards, Adam?
Well, everybody loves to cruise, and the most important thing we can accomplish in these days following the meeting with the Vice President and the submission of our plan is to make sure all travelers are confident in our public health profile vis-a-vis COVID-19, which we think they should be and will be when the details of the plan come out. All we're looking for right now is to make sure we are maximizing the well-being of our guests and crew. Obviously, the whole economic ecosystem of travel, of airlines, of cruise lines, of hotels, of travel agencies is hurting right now. We get that. We're part of that. And we need to work ourselves out of that situation over time as this COVID-19 environment improves. So we're not asking for anything today. We want to make sure the government knows we've been responsive to the request for a strong plan. And that's what we'll be discussing here in Washington.
In New York, when we talk to investors about these stocks, nobody wants to touch them. And it's not just because of what's happening right now and the loss in business. There's a feeling that people are never going to want to cruise again.
We're a resilient travel sector. We're a resilient bunch of people. There are a lot of leaders in our industry who have been in the segment for decades. We've been through other remarkable and unprecedented and unforeseen challenges. We'll get through this one, too. Every challenge presents new circumstances we've never dealt with before, but there's lots we can draw on. And in the end, people just absolutely love to cruise. We create a lot of the greatest memories of our customers' lives, and we look forward to getting back to that. But we've got a lot of work to do in between now and then to make sure that we're addressing all relevant public health needs and then to rebuild our economic performance.
Adam, you mentioned the episodes you've been through before. We all know those stories. How does the cruise, the modern cruise, need to change in the future in ways that it hasn't changed already?
So, without going into the details of our plan, from a public health perspective, we have already put into effect a lot of screening protocols in terms of people's ability to get on board. If they've been in one of the prohibited countries in the last 14 days, they can't come on board a cruise ship. So we are going to elevate our screening protocols. Then once the guests are on board, we are going to elevate the way in which we care for them vis-a-vis the realities of COVID-19. And as soon as we can test in volume, and I know you were just addressing that a few minutes ago, we will incorporate testing into our daily and weekly care for our guests. And then should there be any kind of event involving a suspected or confirmed case, we are going to be very prepared as an industry and in a self-sufficient way to handle the transportation and logistics and care for all the guests and crew who are on that particular ship.
You're seeing these stocks move to the downside, not just today, but down over 60%, Adam, this year for the 3 major cruise lines. At the same time, Carnival, Royal, Norwegian, they're all offering these incentives, these deals to incentivize the traveler to get on a ship. Is that the right message to be sending to travelers at a time when you're seeing these 2 big ships, quarantine, these princess ships over the past month?
Well, there are about 400 ships that make up the current modern cruise industry. So obviously, the overwhelming majority, virtually all of them, are completely in good shape. As I mentioned at the beginning, we have a notably strong public health record over decades, which we are now elevating with our new plan. So yes, we believe people can cruise with us with confidence. And if they are in the vulnerable segment of the population, I think you'll see that our plan addresses that.